And I want to tell you tonight, whether you are 12 or whether you are 87, one day your heart is going to stop beating. It's going to stop beating. And in that moment, I hope that you know that you've got eternal life. See, in that moment, it's not going to, all the rules aren't going to matter anymore. In that moment, it's not going to be about how you dressed when you went to church. In that moment, it's not going to be about how many chapters of the Bible did you get through, or how long did you pray, or did you mind your P's and Q's. In that moment, it's not going to be how much knowledge that you've got about Jesus. In that moment, the only thing that you are going to need, and you're going to need it desperately when your heart stops beating, is that you know you've got eternal life. Let me ask you tonight, have you? Have you got eternal life? We're going to pray in just a second. And if you're here tonight and you don't know that you've got eternal life, then I plead with you to pray with me in a second, because you shall know. You can know it. You can experience the life that Jesus came to give you tonight. You know, there's a story, a beautiful story that I heard a few years ago about a family that were living out in the plains of America. This guy was just a young boy, and his family had one of the very first telephones. Not the kind of mobiles we have now. It was a wooden box on the wall, and you would pick up the receiver and turn the handle. And he used to watch his parents as they would pick up the receiver, turn the handle, and they would say, "Information, please." And a voice would come out of the box and say, "This is information." And they would ask for a telephone number or ask for the weather report, and "Information, please" would speak to them. And one day this little boy was at home on his own, and he hit his thumb with a hammer. And he said, "Well, I didn't cry because there was no one to listen. But it was hurting." And then I remembered, "Information, please." And so I picked up the receiver and I turned the handle and I said, "Information, please." And the voice said, "This is information." He said, "I've hurt my thumb." And the voice said, "Is your mummy at home?" He said, "No." "Is your daddy at home?" "No." "Is it bleeding?" "No." "Can you get some ice?" "Yes." "Put some ice on it and it will feel better." He said, "I tried it and it worked. From then on, I phoned "Information, please" all the time. Anytime I had a problem, "Information, please" helped me with my mathematics homework. "Information, please" helped me with my geography. "Information, please" helped me to learn how to spell disappear. And when my pet canary died, I phoned "Information, please." And I said, "How could God let something that sings so beautifully die?" And "Information, please" said, "Paul, you must always remember there is another world for us to sing in." The family moved away. They went to New York, and the guy got a bit older and he forgot about "Information, please" for many years. Till one day he had to go back to his hometown for business, and he was sitting in a little regional airport on the edge of town, and he looked up and he saw a phone booth, and he thought, "I wonder." And he went up to the phone booth and he picked up the dial and he said, "Information, please." And a voice said, "This is information." He said, "Did you teach me to spell disappear?" And the voice said, "I expect that thumb is better by now." He said, You have no idea how much you meant to me growing up. She said, you had no idea how much you meant to me. I didn't have any children of my own. I loved it when you called me. She said, now you must remember, my name's Mary. And you call me anytime you want, Paul. From then on, every so often, whenever he was in town, he would pick up the phone, he would dial information, please, and he would talk to Mary. One day he came back and got into town and he picked up the phone and he dialed information, please, and a different voice said, this is information. He said, can I speak to Mary, please? And they said, oh, sorry, no, Mary passed away a few days ago. She was pretty old. She only came in a couple hours a day. He said, oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. And he was about to hang up and the voice said, wait, is your name Paul? He said, yeah, that's right. Paul, Mary gave us a message. She said, in case you called, be sure to tell you this. Paul, there's another world for us to sing in. And there is. And there is. And one day when your heart stops beating, it will not be the end of you. The only question left is this: where are you going to spend eternity? Do you have eternal life, or are you going to experience eternal death? Let's bow our heads. We're going to pray.